Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven, and today we're going to be doing almost a full week of vlogging. I trailed off at the end, but for the most part, this is what an average week of schoolwork has been looking like. Starting off, I let the rabbits out of their enclosure. Malice is very against the tile floor. She treats it like lava still, so I was trying to see if she would use a bridge made out of carpet scraps. She hasn't still, but I still hope that she will someday. I think because Mischief's previous home was really neglectful, he's really prone to getting depressed when he thinks he's alone, and most days if I see him rocking and his eyes closed, I bring him into my office with me to help him feel less lonely. He has been doing this less as his bond with Malice has gotten more strong, and it's been really nice to see, but it still happens sometimes, so just bring him into my office. Once the rabbits were in their relaxing spots, it was time to start my weekly planning. I have fallen off using my planning templates on Notion for the most part for the time being, but I'm still using my digital calendar. I have one calendar that's synced to my university and it has all of my due dates and stuff, and so at the beginning of the week I duplicate all the assignments that are scheduled at their due date and then space them out throughout the week so that I can drag and drop them into my calendar blocking. It's not the most thorough system as like a whole sense of balance, but it's what I've been able to manage while keeping my focus very honed in onto school. After I set up my calendar for the week, I needed to set up more binders for more classes. I had started intermediate accounting 2 and managerial accounting the week before filming, so I had notes and a couple of paper protectors with my reading schedules to keep everything together until I got binders over the weekend. I can already tell that I really like my managerial accounting class, and if I decide to go for a degree in the future, I really want to explore that specialty further. After my binders were set up and my previous notes were organized, I got started with my classwork. Monday and Tuesday have become my reading material days. I set up my Pomodoro for 45 minutes of work and 15-minute breaks, and I either spend the day on one class at a time or I split days somewhere in the middle. It really just depends on how much reading the classes require that week and how well I feel like I'll be able to handle transitioning between the two subjects. Mischief loves reading days because I sit on the floor in my office where he can demand scritches all throughout the day. He does like to demand scritches of my right hand, which is less convenient. But the first few weeks that we had Malice, I tried to sit on the floor in the living room to do my reading, and just the rug on top of the tile killed my lower back, and I just could not maintain it. So either Mischief sits in my office with me and Malice stays in the living room alone, or I bring her into my office. It's entirely up to her. If she doesn't want to be picked up in the morning, I don't push it. I'm hoping that as she gets more familiar with the house and our routines, she'll figure out how to navigate the hallway and stairs and tile, and everyone can hang out where they're comfortable. She does like being in my office. She just doesn't like being picked up and taken to my office, and she doesn't like leaving my office at the end of the day. I finished the day off with the rabbits getting their puzzles and playing Sims. Malice has done so good at figuring out all of the puzzles and already gets really excited when she knows that they're coming up at night, and she starts trying to rush me, and it's very precious. One of my financial goals is to definitely get more puzzles and enrichment for them because they deserve the best, and I love watching Mischief wreak havoc on all of his cuppies. side tangent about an espresso for like a solid week. Whenever I tried to make a coffee, it would blink red at me. It didn't do it to Zach. It only did it when I was the one making coffee. It worked if Zach was making the coffee for me, but it did not let me make coffee. And it was also around time to descale the machine, so I spent like 30 minutes trying to get the stupid process to start because it has a weird way of doing things. Instead of just having a button that you hold or whatever, you have to follow the steps, and it took me like 30 minutes to realize that the water tank was empty. So I refill the water and it finally starts, and my goofy butt used way too small of a bowl to catch the water when it came out. So I spent all morning trying to descale the machine and then cleaning up the coffee bar when I wetted it. Not that I bothered to film it because at that point I was just frustrated. But I managed to get a cup of coffee when the was out of the process, so it's still a win. Just a really frustrating win. After my coffee debacle, I really needed to settle in and focus on school. Malice was open to being carried into my office this morning, so we had a full house in the office. The main problem, like I said, with bringing Malice into my office is that she loves it in here, and at the end of the day, it's a fight to get her back out of my office. She loves hiding in all of the different places, especially under the futon, and it's a different struggle, but I like having all of us in here in the morning, during the day, so it's worth it most of the time. I skipped my workout the night before because of my neck pain, but in general, I've been trying to do Pilates around 3 times a week. I've been either doing my own thing or watching videos on YouTube, just depending on my mood. I try to really set the vibe in my office to make the lighting cozy. I desperately need to get more storage in here so it can be properly organized. Another financial goal after I finish school, but I have enough space to roll out my mat and have a really chill workout, and the rabbits mostly learn not to chew on my mat. They're normally in the litter box or under the couch, or Mischief is bothering my face. Wednesday mornings I have therapy, and after therapy I like to give myself an hour to decompress before I try to make myself focus. And this week I decided to make cupcakes and listen to Kesha during my little break. I went with red velvet because it used to be one of Zach's favorites until I told him that it's flavored with cocoa and vinegar, and now he calls red velvet cake a lie and a disappointment, but it does not stop him from eating it. Once the cupcakes were out of the oven, I needed to finish up my reading for managerial accounting. I just had a little bit more than normal this week, and so I didn't get it all done by Tuesday. Normally I vacuum their room on Monday, but since my neck was bothering me that day, I did it on Wednesday. Mischief was very unimpressed with my decision to take his poop and wash all of his blankets, so he peed on the floor while I was vacuuming. He has absolutely no fear of the vacuum, and I find it moderately concerning. He's asked the vacuum to pet him and gotten his head stuck in the tube several times, and recently ran under the tube and was completely picked up off the ground by the suction. He has no semblance of survival instinct, and it's highly entertaining but also terrifying. After dealing with Mischief's mess, I did not have the desire to try and whip the frosting or deal with a piping bag, which is fine, technically, but I like piping frosting onto cupcakes so that you get more frosting than when you spread it with a spatula. But I got them frosted and managed to get Malice out of my office without too much of an argument. She was highly displeased with me for taking the blankets and exposing her to the dangers of tile, but also didn't want to use the carpet bridge to navigate the enclosure without touching the tile lava.
There you go. See, you can do it. Here you go.
Sleep. I found that I had to hear your voice first. The truth is, let me tell you this. You could be hers again in some way. Because being hers is part of it. That's not what she did.
Doesn't it? I never had much that was my own, you know.
Well, you found the
I've been trying to get more consistent with training the rabbits to help build our relationships and to give them more enrichment. Malice has been doing really well with verbal commands, but she's very hesitant when it comes to jumping over the hurdles. Finding out the things that make her nervous has been an interesting process. I want to support her and help her grow more confident, but I want to do it in a slow and mindful way that doesn't betray her trust or overwhelm her. She is a very smart little lady and she's so sweet, but she hasn't been given a lot of attention before now, and I really hope in a year she'll be completely thriving and taking over the whole house. She doesn't want to jump over the 1-inch toilet paper tube, but she has no problem climbing to the top of the couch and trying to jump from there. It's been very interesting.
That's why we decided against it. Why did I care about
There you go.
Started better. Even spin. He has discovered a new respect for the role of
That's it. I'll leave you to it. You don't have to go, Tom.
Because you were right. Because we are in love with each other. I'm not sure why I fought it, but I've stopped fighting it now.
You know what? Even though this event is separate from YouTube's own upfront, with deadlines saying that this is not a direct competitor to that presentation, as they both ultimately want increased advertising on YouTube. And so ultimately, it's all very.
I finally finished all of my reading material for the week on Wednesday, so Thursday was all about getting through the assignments, which meant being at the computer all day, which was especially difficult because the buns were being extra cute and cuddly and oh so distracting. This was basically the end of the vlog. Thursday and Friday I just did a lot of schoolwork at my computer and I didn't remember to pick up my camera because I did eventually actually get focused on my schoolwork and focus on that instead of vlogging.
You can go get him. You don't have to stay here. You feeling torn? I do need to do homework though, okay? I apologize, but thanks, boy. Did you just put me off? Hi. Hello. What's up? What you doing, buddy? Are you looking for a chair?
Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a lollipop emoji in the comments to let me know that you stayed until the end, and hit subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. I hope you're having a wonderful day or that tomorrow is better. I also hope you don't mind that my voice is really scratchy because my allergies are throwing a hissy fit this week. But bye.